Okay, we're back after the break again, and we're getting approaching the closing of the first hour, and we're going to have a guest in the second hour, and it's a former patient, and she can talk about her experience. But what happened, summarizing what we said, this is not something that I know is ever going to end, that is going to continue on and on, the fight trying to stop us, because as long as we are alive and treating patients, the number of results increase. Yes, there are not as many as they should be because a lot of patients panic, listen to bad advice, go back to an oncologist, and that's the end. The first thing they want to do is cover up what we have done. And so what they do, one of the main things is even pump you with chemo or radiation to show, see, you're doing better now. If they survive all of that, assuming that they survive and it's not certain, then they can say, see, we did it. We saved your life. And that happens every day. I hear patients saying, oh, yeah, I was in real trouble, but now I'm okay because I had chemo, I had radiation. Yeah, sure. But, so the results we have are not as many as they should be. Every single person that comes to us has a dead tumor when they leave. So we should have a bigger success story than we actually have. And that really upset me because everybody has a purpose in life. Everybody has a motivating factor. And unfortunately, majority of people have a motivating factor of money. And they accuse me of having motivating, and Liz Meding to have a motivating factor as money. Yeah, we are really struggling. We are going through really a pain to try to maintain, and the more they attack us, the more have to defend us, the more we have expenses. It gets worse. That's also with the intention to make our prices go up so it's closer to what they're doing, and so they can close us down that way if they cannot close us down any other way. But still there are people that are listening, they're following what we say they need to do, which is nothing, and so the number goes up. What is my motive? My motive is that I like to see people happy. I mean, how can you be happy if everywhere around you there is misery? It's not possible, in my opinion, and I cannot do it. If I see misery, I figure there has got to be a way to help. But apparently not everybody is motivated by that. The majority of people, especially in a high industry, they think that the more money they can collect, the better it is. How? I mean, an individual does not need billions, even 1 billion. That's ridiculous for one person. They don't need that. They can't even keep track of it. They're just ridiculous. So yes, you want to work and be rather comfortable, but that level of money is ridiculous. And keep in mind that a nation cannot be prosperous unless everybody has a good life. Not a few people at the top with a lot of money. That's Europe. That's why I left Europe, because that's a wrong approach to things. A few extremely wealthy people make a miserable country. Only the average individual making enough money to cover his expenses to have a comfortable life, that's what makes a wealthy nation. That's what makes people happy. That's what makes things go right. Not a few people controlling an enormous amount of money. That is misery for everybody. And that's what people need to remember. We all need to have a good life and not be ripped off by anything, the petroleum company, the medical establishment. No, we don't need to be. Everybody needs to work honestly and make enough money to live well. Nobody needs billions. That's ridiculous. And that's what we should keep in mind and keep fighting against. And the prices charged by the hospitals, those are outrageous. We need to put a stop to that. And my belief is that unless everybody around you is happy, you cannot really be happy. You think you are, but you're not. Everybody around you has to be happy. If people are miserable, you are affected one way or another. Even if they're not your family, you might not realize it, but we're all affected by the misery around us. Even if you are a outrageously selfish person. You don't realize that, but it's still affecting you. And the only way to have a good life is people around you are happy. And the greatest thing is for us to, at Lase Medink, is to see that people are treated. They feel better. They're doing great. They go home happy, smiling. They're working like nothing happened to them. Their life goes on like nothing happened because nothing really happened. So what? Cancer is not that major of a deal. That's not that big of a deal. It can be stopped. If done properly, it can be stopped on its track. But now, but what about the medical establishment? So what about metastasis? Well, once you start cutting into it and causing bleeding, you're reducing and destroying the immune system, and then you cause it to spread. And then, of course, there are other alternatives that say, the tumor is only an expression, but it's not the cancer. The cancer is systemic, and I already discussed that. That's the most ridiculous thing, to get you trapped into buying all that nonsense they peddle. It's not, because if it were systemic, you wouldn't develop one tumor. You develop several tumors all over the place and all independent type of cancer, and there wouldn't be any metastases. So it's just an excuse to sell you whatever they have. That's what it is, and that's the problem. And most of all is not the fact that they want to sell you what they have. They want to entrap you so you're stuck into the system and you're a patient forever. So you have to continue taking drugs or continue taking supplements, and you're on a maintenance type of routine. You are not free. That is no freedom. If you have to keep taking medication, that will deteriorate your entire system. But even taking supplement, maybe one or two might be helpful for your general health. But when you start taking all these pills because you have to keep the cancer away, and you cannot eat this, and you cannot eat that, and you have to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to have all of this maintenance type of thing, whether it's the stupid use of coffee the wrong way, whatever. It is just controlling your life. It's costing you a lot of money that you could be spending in having a good time or just having a normal life. It's costing you a lot of money, and it's not helping because you're a patient forever. And then all those supplements, too, can cause a serious problem. I see it every day on patients that don't listen to me. And they go on taking things they really don't need, and they can do some damage. If you take things, medication or a natural supplement in large quantity that you do not need, you are going to have a bad effect on what happens in your system, because that is not the natural way to live. That is not what your organism needs. So all these people that tell you, you have to do this, you have to have a full change of your lifestyle, you're no longer free, you're a prisoner. What kind of life is that? That is not life. And it shouldn't be, and it's not needed. And you can resolve the problem. Now, if all of these people are going to listen in, I'm going to be listening, going to be working with me in Lase Medink to introduce something that can really help? Of course not. Of course not. Because they want to make money the way they have decided to do it, and now they certainly not want to change their way of life. Doctors have told me, no, I don't want to do this because I spent all these years learning. I don't have time to learn something new. Huh? You are supposed to help the public. What you're doing is not helping them. So there is something else that will help and work with me. So we can spread it. We can license it out. Other people can use it. It can be used everywhere, and we can all forget about the problem and the fear of cancer all over the world. Won't you like that? But now with medication, not with drugs, not keeping you pumped with drugs all your life, not keeping you controlling what you do every moment of your life. Oh, you can't eat chocolate. Oh, you cannot eat this. Oh, you cannot eat meat. You love steak too bad. You cannot have steak. No, actually you do. You can't really live a good life because your body cannot create a new tissue. So, and they all attack me by saying, oh, what kind of a quack says to people that they're supposed to eat a normal diet? So that's what we are facing. But what I am trying to let people know is you don't have to live that way. That, first of all, has never solved anything, because people that go through the standard take one medication after another, even if they think they have resolved the cancer problem, there are other problems that come about, and they're caused by the medication they are taking, even though you're really never free of cancer the way it's approached today by the medical establishment. So And the alternative also, they do different things and in many cases make the situation worse. When they are really something helpful, they slow down the growth of the cancer, but they also slow down your health. And that's another thing. You think you're feeling great because of all those other things they pump you with to make you believe you're feeling good. But it reaches a point that your tumor is out of control, and when what they do, they tell you, oh, you have to go for surgery now. Oh, great. That's what I was trying to avoid in the first place. But that's what's happening out there. And after years that you have taken all that nonsense they're giving you. So it's not a good picture out there. And unfortunately, what we are facing is three fronts, three enemies, not just one. It's not just the AMA. That's one group, one front. The others are the alternative and Mexico.